Okay, I'm just gonna go through this build quick and explain what I've been playing the last few days. I've been inspired by Epsy to make this build. He showed me a version of this, and there's some really cool ideas in it. So, for example, it uses the new helm. This is our main damage setup. It's a 1-link Herald of Thunder, which is level 31. 21 from the gem, plus 8 from this item, and plus 2 from the staff. We're using a 1C weapon. That's awesome. I'm gonna run one quick T16 map to show it. The build doesn't need a headhunter. I'm just using it for dex, but of course, if you juice up the map, it's gonna be nice. Let's add that too. So it's a Herald of Thunder Autobomber with Impulsa explosions for clear, perpetuated by this Storm's Gift. It shocks enemies you kill, and then the shocks perpetuate, and the Impulsa explosion actually chains. So that's cool. It's not a Blade Vortex build, even though I have a 6-link Blade Vortex. That's just kind of something for single target. We need to cast it once at the start of the map to get stuff rolling, and after that, the build just works. I never have to press any other button again, other than, you know, flasks and like movement speed abilities and stuff. I haven't spent a lot on this build, so it can definitely scale more damage. So right now, this might seem kind of slow. If you go on any lower tier than 16, the whole screen will blow up pretty much instantly with the first 1 or 2 Herald of Ice sticks. Right now I have to run around a little bit to blow everything up. But it's kind of like RF, but it doesn't suck, right? Like, you're just running around, not really pressing buttons, and the things around you just die, which is kind of a cool concept. I just never really liked RF builds, but this is as close as I'll ever get to like playing an RF build. If you wanted, you could also cast Blade Vortex for more single target for stuff like Essences and Legions and Legion Generals and Boss and whatever. Here's a Legion. Let's blow it up. We're using a Lone Messenger, which is a small unique cluster jewel, which makes it so that you can't use any more auras. So I can only use Herald of Thunder, and that's it. I cannot use any Wrath or any other auras or other heralds. So we're pretty much limited to the Herald of Thunder, but we can use buffs. So Arctic Armor isn't an aura, and the animal buffs like Spider isn't an aura either, so we can use those. So that's our 3 auras. And the cool thing, a really cool thing about this build is that you can perma-freeze pretty much everything up until stuff like Awakener, Shaper, Guardians, and Conquerors. So any map boss you fight, provided you don't run monsters cannot be slowed below base speed, will get permanently frozen because we're using an anomalous Arctic Armor linked to Elite Prolif, Unbound Ailments, and Enhance. And what that does is that it freezes things when you get hit. So we're constantly getting hit because we're using 2 Storm Secret Rings. So we're constantly getting hit for 250 lightning damage to increase the frequency of our Herald of Thunders. And because of that, we're actually freezing everything around us. So I can just sit here next to the boss, and he will get permanently frozen. If everything works out great, and it does. So that's kind of cool. It's a T16 boss, right? Even though the damage is not great, I haven't pressed any flasks, I haven't done any Blade Vortex, I just wanted to show that that's what Herald of Ice does with the Storm Secret and Anomalous Arctic Armor. We have cast 1 damage taken, Conductivity, Molten Shell, Frost Shield, and Wave of Conviction. You can mess around with this stuff. If you play with the Shield, Scepter and Shield build, you can do Tempest Shield. I think Epsy was doing Tempest Shield. And then yeah, you can do Steel Skin. You can mess around with how high do you want this level to be, how much damage do you want to take before it goes off. If you want it more frequently, you de-level all this stuff. If you want it to be stronger but less frequent, you level them up. You can mess around with that. You can also put a Golem here, or 2, because you're an Elementalist. Instead of this Vol RF, it's kind of whatever. Just looks cool. You can have 2 Golems, or You can have a manual curse that you want to do, like a stronger curse. If you're a crit, S mark, obvious choice, but you should put like a high level conductivity maybe if you don't want to wait for your cast one damage taken 1 to proc. The gear set I've spent 12x on. Since then the prices have gone up a little bit. And then I put on a Headhunter. You can just put on any belt. I used the String of Servitude with movement speed before just to get through heist quicker. The way we mitigate the Storm Secret damage, the self damage, is that we get max lightning resistance. We get 5 from the staff. If you wanted to invest more into the build, you could make like a really good Spell Scepter and a really good shield with life gain on block and max lightning res. Hello. But we just get 1 extra lightning res here on Natural Calm. We get I Anointed Crystal Skin for another extra res, max res. There's some other sources of max res if you wanted. And then the staffs gives 5. So now I have 82 max lightning res. And we have lightning damage leeched as life on our amulet. We also have lightning damage leeched on Storm Drinker for ES and Heart of Thunder. But these are not, like, that's not really necessary. Our ES pool is pretty non-existent. We're using 1 large cluster jewel with supercharge. This is like the most important one because this is a non-crit build. If you invested a lot into this build, you could definitely make a crit version of this and it will do a lot more damage, especially single target. But this damage is already enough to clear T16s, as you can see. So it's pretty good. And we're using the Lone Messenger. This doubles our Herald of Thunder damage. Pretty insane, but makes it so that we can only have 1. I have Agent of Destruction and Powered Envoy. You could get more of these if you made your tree like more cluster geo oriented. We have a really sick Thread of Hope here that allows us to take all of these Divine Nodes, which helps with our single target Blade Vortex damage for stuff like Awakener or boss skills. I'm using a staff, so I'm taking some staff block nodes, but you could use shield nodes. Shield nodes are really good if you go Scepter Shield and you want to invest more. Otherwise, we're just literally just grabbing life nodes, some jewels. My jewels are just life, resistance, chaos res. I have 46 chaos res with my Atsiris Flask up, so it's actually pretty tanky even against chaos damage. And we have Glancing Blows. We're blocking with the staff. You can go Sword and Shield. We are EO. Not great uptime, but 2 points. It's kind of whatever. I think that's it. Any questions? How would you level into this? I mean, it's anything. Like you can Hollow Palm level, you can get a Storm Cloud and Bowman. It doesn't matter. Leveling is, there's many leveling builds. This is not a leveling build. You have to have like 4 or 5 uniques on for this build to work. So why'd you pick Ascendant? Because it's the character I had. It doesn't really matter. Assassin is probably best for DPS if you want to go crit especially. Elementalist is nice. You can run L Reflect maps. I'm not even using the golems on this. I'm using the Witch Start so I can path from here and get all the good stuff up here. I took Pathfinder for 2nd because movement speed and flasks I can spam, and also some Pen. Pen is really good DPS. You can go Gladiator if you want it to be tanky. You can go Inquisitor if you wanted more damage. Many choices. Like Ascendant is just very flexible, and I had this character ready from group play, so I didn't want to like level another one. I had this character like sitting at 98, right? The 98 Ascendant is gonna be pretty good in probably any build that you put on, because you can just shop around in the Ascendances. Why not use Rampage Axe? I'm too lazy to switch, like weapon swap. I don't know. I could put on Rampage. Leveling process, group play and form 18 mirrors. Okay. We haven't spent a single mirror on it, okay? We spent like 15x, and then we put on a Headhunter, which you don't have to. It's just nice movement speed, honestly. It's a live dex movement speed belt right now, if you're just heisting or running like low juice maps. So in terms of single target damage, it's not great, but I have killed Awakener 5 on this. There was a clip in like the last video where I finish it from like 30%. I have no call, so you can't freeze him, but he gets really freaking slowed with the chill stuff. If you want single target, there's 2 things. Or actually, there's 1 thing. Algor Mortis. Enemies your chilling areas take 35% increased lightning damage. So if you don't have any other like enemies take increase, this is literally a 35% damage multiplier. So you can pop this on for bosses, since you don't need the Storm Gift to perpetuate your Impulsa explosions. So if you just want a boss, you can set up a second like link, like a second 4-link, same thing, in a gloves like this, and carry it around and put it on for Conquerors or put it on for Awakener whenever you're fighting something harder. And then I have like a CB jewel here for Awakener. But yeah, it can kill bosses. It's not a great boss killer. It's definitely not a boss farmer, but it can handle it, even with a Headhunter on, which is, you know, not a great bossing item. Yeah, anyway, I hope that was helpful, interesting, cool build.